Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Patient.
Good morning, everyone. Please can you hear me? Yes, my name is Patience Douglas. I'm the service engineer working with NAMEL. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Suberu Christopher. I'm the tax officer P-AADS at NAMEL. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Amina Ibrahim from National Council for Women's Societies.
Good morning. My name is Mikael Alikute from Global Auxiliary Group Companies.
Good morning. My name is Kabir Sulaiman from Capital Cultural Development Limited, Abuja.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Umore Calabar, President of Roundtable Limited.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Omada. I work with GT Bank.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mutiu Quadri. I work with Grand Bank.
Yeah, good morning once more. Usman Kamade is my name. I run the agribusiness desk of FCM in Northern Nigeria.
Good morning, everyone. Ahmed Ibrahim Mawar is my name, a private investor representing H1 Actual Investment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Asuku, standing in for my boss, Engineer Erofai, Engineer Fai Ahmed, CEO, Silver Quest Nigeria Limited.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abdul Innocent. I'm the chairman of Igede Agricultural Investment Cooperative. Igede is the third largest tribe in Benue State. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Engineer Dadalu Atari. I'm the head of project coordination at NAMEL. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the CEO, Chief Executive of Nigeria Tractor Mechanization and Equipment. You see that we usually have two prayer sessions with the Christians and the Muslims. Now, since the program has started and the Christians have prayed, the closing prayer will be done by the Muslims. Thank you.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Oluwatobi Ogunbayo, Director of Projects, National Cooperative Society Limited.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chichili Koko, the National Program Coordinator of Enugu State Credit Farmers. And if you wouldn't mind, the National Publicity Secretary, National Fish Association of Nigeria. Thank you.
Good morning, all. My name is Mbakakwe Ifanacho, the President of Enugu State Graduate Farmers, and the National Vice Chairman in charge of National Fish Association of Nigeria, Southeast Zone. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aibiji Rajaga. I'm representing Nakuta.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chiwembu, representing Nakuta.
Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rashid Oladmeji from Grassroots Agricultural Reforms Foundation.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Anthony Anoze. I work with Stanley Galaxy.
Good morning. Adeleke Adekambi is my name. I am the technical assistant to the Chief Executive of NAMEL on product and project development. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Mohammed Pacha, editor for the Kogi Central Farmers Association. Thank you.
Good morning. Alhaji Sali Wadabagi is my name, Chairman of the Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kogi State Chapter.
Good morning, everyone. Paul Agada is my name. I represent NAMEL and P-AADS in Kogi State.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Steven Nadaga. I work in the ICT department of NAMEL.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Payos. I work with ICT admin at NAMEL.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew DBC, and I'm the project officer at NAMEL. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much.
My name is Amori Jama.
Head Credit Administration and ABP, National Microfinance Bank.
Thank you, Mom. Definitely, as he gives his opening remark.
Thank you very much, Lee. And they are your market, but they also wanted to make sure that they complement all your effort, you understand, so that you can also go into the farming. So we met with them and we discussed extensively, and they are very happy to hear that again, not only because truthfully, their combined capacity alone gives them a problem like 15 or 20%. You understand, of the total raw material required for them to fit in their factories. So there is still an opening for about 85%, about 75 to 80%, that they need. So they were very happy when they heard that we are able to meet associations, cooperatives, and producers, and NGOs to discuss this. So thank you very much once again. Let me start by saying that for too long, Africa and Nigeria have continuously complained of high production costs in agriculture, poor yield per hectare, and the fact that we have more broken down tractors and various agricultural machinery than functional ones. We also talk of too much drudgery in the sector that discourage entrance of young people and inability of most of producers, like every one of you sitting down here, to produce optimally to meet up with the existing and emerging market due to unavailability of developed agricultural land, which facilitates end-to-end mechanization, cost-effective operations, and increased productivity. Various stakeholders, including private sector, public and developmental partners, have made several efforts and intervention to address the above challenges. And in the recent time, you will agree with me that the voice and action of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, have been very loud and clear. The establishment of NISA Microfinance Bank, introduction of the Anchor Grower Program, ABP, the launching of the Accelerated Development Program, P-AADS, among several other developmental schemes. While all these interventions have led to very significant changes in the narratives of our agriculture, for better by increasing access to funding, improve high yield seeds, fertilizer and agrochemicals, one critical challenge is still threatening and belittle the giant effort for the federal government, state and the central bank, as it's remained a nightmare to most investors, especially those in the private sector. In the private sector, and that is agricultural land development, as these account for a large percentage of the obstacles to commercialize agriculture next to post-harvest losses. God created the land naturally fertile, and if we prepare and nurture it, it will lead to a yield per hectare increase by almost 60%. And when we add with good seeds and fertilizer, we shall indeed reduce drudgery, minimize production costs, and increase yield per hectare. The CBN, judging from her wealth of experience from all previous and ongoing interventions, saw the need for this ingenious initiative using the private sector platform to create the P-AADS as a dedicated project to support producers, processors, and other line actors in the area of agricultural land development on the flexible terms of payment. So today, we are having this stakeholders meeting because we want the project to be a very successful one, and if it must achieve this feat, it will only be a function of our collective actions and contributions. In this meeting, we shall discuss the project, state-by-state procedure, define and redefine each other's role and action required for each of us present here. We at NAMEL have done this before and currently doing it again, and therefore we wish to assure all of you that we shall deploy our wealth of experience, lessons learned from similar land development projects in the P-AADS with your support. We thank the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Development Finance, the National Microfinance Bank seated here, for their role as the promoter, financial partners, managers, and all of you who have traveled far and near to be part of this all important P-AADS stakeholders meeting. We are hopeful that we shall discuss and refine where necessary every step considered critical to the success of this project during this meeting. I want to thank you once again for coming.
Please another round of applause for him. Thank you, Doctor, for that brief yet dynamic. We'll move right into number 6. That is a brief presentation on NAMEL's profile, P-AADS, and the PSD SMS. Mr. Adeleke Adekombi will be taking us in the P-AADS. The NAMEL's profile will have it running on the screen. I believe the ICT already have that documented. And then Mr. Adeleke will take us on the P-AADS, while Dr. Ahmed Adekunle takes the PSD SMS. ICT, can we have the NAMEL's profile, please?
Hello, I am Engineer Oluwatari. Precious Idoko. Pius Ibrahim. Timothy Gule. Ademisi Matthew. NAMEL. Hello, welcome to NAMEL. Our goal at NAMEL is to enhance lives and empower Nigerians through agricultural projects.
Currently, we are about deploying over 1,000 units of tractor to commodity association. With this, it is obvious that NAMEL is indeed the home of mechanization ecosystem in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, IC.
Igbo Otutu Oma or Ibolachi. So, Hausa, what should I say? Somebody should help me with that.
Nakwana.
Nakwana. Thank you. So, we are welcome to this P-AADS stakeholders presentation. In this presentation, I will be leading us to an introductory part of this meeting, which actually explains in brief what P-AADS connotes. Itself is the private sector-led accelerated agricultural development scheme, which was developed by CBN, Development Finance Department, to actually open more land for the purpose of agricultural development in Nigeria. Next slide. So what are the objectives of P-AADS? This P-AADS fast-track land clearing for the agricultural production in Nigeria. It promotes food security. It provides financing for extended land clearing. And it supports other capable stakeholders interested in unlocking land for agriculture. And it also supports job creation. Of course, you and I will agree that when we open more land and we turn agriculture from just agriculture to agribusiness, there will be job creation. Do we agree? You know, before now we have made agric our culture, but now we want to make it our business. Where we say, and then it also enabling CBN import and export diversification goes. So if we have our local production, there will be little pressure on our exchange rates. Let's go on. What are the focal commodities under P-AADS? We can see on the screen. The focal commodities include rice, maize, cotton, cocoa, wheat, cassava, tomato, and so on like that. It involves livestock too. It involves fishery and even the poultry production. Of about 409,000 per hectare on 1 hectare, and of course for 1,000 hectares it will be like 409 million. And the operation cost per hectare, the cost of carrying out operation on 1 hectare, the land preparation land, and the planting, the fertilizer application, everything per hectare, we take an average of 260,000, then 268,000. Oh, if I use 268,000 naira to cultivate 1 hectare, I will be making 409. This is what we have done. In 2020, we ourselves as NAMEL, we were on the field, and we see what was actually obtainable on the field. So if we use 268,000 to carry out all the operations up to point of harvesting, and then we make a revenue of 409, you will discover that the gross margin will be around 141,000 naira. So if my land clearing cost, okay, this is supposed to be 55,000, but let's assume, so if I remove the 55,000 and the profit before the interest drops to this, and the interest on it, okay, this is still 33,000. You know, the 33 and the 22 makes the 55,000 we are repaying per year. So you will discover that after I have paid for the land clearing loan, and I have paid for the interest, I will still be having a profit of about 85,000 on each hectare, which if I cultivate 1,000 hectares, I'll be having about 85 million.
Dr. Chinedu, welcome. Adeli, welcome. Let me just give a small summary of what Adeleke presented. The presentation will be made available to every one of you so that you can see our projection, where we projected how much is needed to clear the land. And there are 2 transactions there from this explanation, 2 loans. There is the funding for the land clearing, there is funding for the production. And we need to bring the 2 together to work. And that is how we came about the pillars, the 4 or 5 pillars we showed. And they have to work hand in hand. And you remember in our letter, we asked you to come here so that we can discuss and shed more light on the loan that is running concurrently. You understand? And what the presentation is trying to do, the screen here is a bit very small, you understand? We give you the presentation, is to tell you that you will go into land clearing and also go into production. But by applying mechanization, you maximize your yield density per hectare professionally. Because land clearing fund has been made available to give you the best land clearing, which we are going to demonstrate to you here. It's not going to be business as usual, where money is given and you use cutlass and go and use money and you will peak. And by the time you apply all the herbicide and everything, all the grasses that have been there for the past 100 years, they move immediately and take away everything. So we want to give you the best land clearing that we guarantee return on investment. So in a short summary, it's saying that if you go into land clearing and also go into cultivation and planting, you will make profit. Even the fact that you are paying 55,000 hectares, my friend here from Enugu said that's too high because he's not seen our projection. You understand? And he does mention about 20 hectares. No, the target given to us by CBN is 30,000 hectares minimum. That means we can go to 3540. I have someone here who showed me that he has produced 40. Dr. Morek, am I correct? He made 40,000, he made 40 metric tons per hectare. Of course. You understand what I'm saying? So we even took the worst, lowest metric tons. And our projection shows that you can pay your loan, land clearing loan, and at the same time return the capital invested and still make profit. And you're still making a profit of 81,000. Multiplied by that 1,000 give you 1 million. But we have to get it right. That is all the presentation is talking about. Thank you. All right. The impact factors in analysis on mechanization, do you understand, is what we want to show here. Every one of you here sitting down, I need you to listen very carefully with the dynamics. You are going to be funded to clear land. And at the same time, the champions here sitting down and the microfinance also realize that when the land is cleared, we must put it into use according to our pillar. It means CBN is also making funding available for the production. And there is a document there in the production that is called the EUB, Economic of Production. That means every analysis of everything that you need to put on 1 hectare is calculated in that document. My main concern there is the mechanization component aspect of it, which carries about 35% of the cost of that EUB. Every one of you here are representing thousands of farmers. If I know you are having close to 2,000 hectares, we there about 15,000 hectares. This line here we have close to about 30,000 hectares about there. Close to 40,000 hectares. We have one person who has 7,000 hectares. The other guy there from Mika 10,000. My sister there 7,000. So they run into thousands of hectares that are representing farmers. So it means that you have to be mechanized. And NAMEL has been accredited to provide this mechanization. But we want to use this opportunity, do you understand, to build the capacity of the association and the farmer and the producers to own your own equipment. NAMEL can as well provide you with the services, do you understand, and pocket our money. But we want to use this opportunity to increase the fleet of the equipment in the country. So I'm giving you a scenario here of which you cannot escape it. You must, as long as the loan is approved, mechanization must be applied, because the target of CBN is 30, 35, 40 metric ton, and the only way you can get that is the best land climate and mechanization.
In North America, there are about 7,000 tractors within the 100 square mile. In Europe, it was divided into two, the Eastern Europe and the Western Europe. The Western Europe had about 4,000 per 100 square mile. And then Eastern Europe, down to Poland, had about 2,000. In Africa, sub-Saharan precisely, it's an average of 3.4 tractors per 100 square mile. That's from here to over there, kind of a coverage. So we are, we have been in a situation where we are under-mechanized for many years. So we must applaud NAMEL for what they are doing. This is a big quantum leap. Equipment in this country. And this is the only way we can guarantee food security and ensure productivity. Now back to the calculation again. For cassava, we're talking about 5 to 9%. Cassava is depends on the variety. You look about maybe 6 to 9 months. If you are talking about land clearing, in addition, maybe additional about 3-4 months. So we're talking about a kilogram a year. There's no way you can farm cassava within the 1 year cycle. So this 5 to 9%, is it for a cycle of production, or if you spill over to the following year, there's an additional 9% interest. We need clarity of that. For CBN, there are some, this project actually requires a long-term land lease. And without that commitment from CBN, farmers might run into problems. So we need a commitment from CBN that this project is going to run for at least 10 years, so that we can lease land and be able to repay these loans, for the equipment.
The crop of emphasis and tenor on this presentation is cassava. If I'm not hearing the wrong thing, I heard that annual crops have 6 years tenor, and we are still talking of moratorium. I don't know, and I want to know if cassava is the sole crop we are promoting here, because we have some very short duration crops that may not require even more than 1 year to cycle out, 6 months to cycle out completely and restart such something. If you are leaving funding, if you are leaving money with farmer for a very long time, when the land is not unused, it's very, very dangerous. So facilities are structured to capture the gestation period of a business, to cycle on a business. So we are talking of annual crops with 6 years tenure. I don't understand.
Okay, thank you. We cannot make a presentation for each of the crops. Okay, let's use maize. No, I'm just using a scenario that we can make presentation for maize, presentation for cassava. We will see that all of us will be here till maybe 3 days time. So that was why we show us the focal crops. We don't look at, oh, let's just pick a crop. Just like we are doing. I'm very familiar with the P-AADS guideline from CBN. I'm very familiar with it. And I just wanted to know that 6 years annual crops tenure.
If we take maize, somebody will say, what about cassava that haven't done much? If we take rice, somebody will say, what about? So, you see, if we now took cassava for 9 months, anything under it, we treat it according to how it is coming. Do you understand? It's not like it's applicable only to cassava. This is the answer that I want to give you here. Every crop production, every transaction have its own transaction framework. So we're not using cassava here. You can see skin between, you understand, the other crops. Thank you. So let me hand it over to CBM so that.
Welcome to Abuja. The questions ran through moratorium to type of crop. First one, moratorium is 6 months, but with the outbreak of COVID-19, CBN made some pronouncements last year on regulatory forbearance. What that simply says is, for people who are benefiting from our interventions, they run into any difficulty. With your PFI, we're willing to listen to you about restructuring of the group. I'll leave it at that. The second one is interest rate of 5%. This is another component of the policy trust of the central bank to address COVID-19. We source money for our interventions from the market. We get the money from Treasury bill, from bonds, and other monetary instruments. At some point, some of the funds were given to us, we raised them at 14%. But what we do is, we take the buffer from our flesh in the balance sheet of the bank, and we subsidize the interest rate and give it to you at 9%. But you see, nobody expected COVID-19 to happen. So last year, part of the pronouncement the central bank made was, in order to quickly allow some breather for businesses, particularly those in the real sector, interest rate was reduced from 9% to 5%. At the first instance, the termination date for the additional interest rate subsidy was February 28th. So what that implied at the first instance is that those who borrowed last year will be paying us 5% interest until the end of February, perhaps the first working day in March 2021. But the NPC sat last week, and the overriding recommendation was that those monetary policy challenges have persisted. In effect, the central bank is willing to extend the 5% breather to the real sector and people in agriculture like you. So when we leave this room, you can beat your chest and say that you will still borrow at 5%. Someone else asked the question about risk sharing. He said, in the final analysis, what will the farmer pay? What will the farmer be expected to provide as collateral? It goes without saying it's 50%. And what it means is that where NAMEL is the obligor for the transaction, we are clearing land, and the cost of clearing that land is 2 billion. We would at least require collateral of 1 billion. And we did emphasize in the document that we will accept all manner of collateral. We expect the banks to accept collaterals that the farmer has. We believe that some of the challenge we have with financial inclusion, particularly access to credit in Nigeria, is that banks continue to ask for traditional collaterals. And some of the time, the collaterals they demand from you are not what you find in the balance sheet of the farmer. If a farmer has a 10-hectare land that he has planted cassava, let's assume the average expected yield is 30 tons per hectare. And you punch the numbers, 30 tons times, say, 45,000 that cassava is going for. You see the amount of money hidden under the soil. Then the bank says that the collateral they will demand from the farmer is a house in Maitama. I do not think it will work, because you're asking something that the farmer doesn't have. Ditto for a processor who has a processing plant, and he's actively processing 20-30 metric tons of cassava on a daily basis. And when he approaches the bank to borrow, the bank will be asking for a house in Asoko. I think that if he had the house in Asoko, he would have sold it and put the money in the business. He wouldn't even be coming to the bank. And that is the wisdom behind CBN intervening in some of these areas that we find critical as monetary policy people. Now, don't rise from this meeting and say, CBN said the only thing the bank should ask you is what you have. No, we don't run the banks. We use moral suasion, we talk to them. When you have difficulty, you get back to us, we'll assist you. But by all means, in the final analysis, we chose to partner with NISA Microfinance Bank. They understand better, and we're working with them. And in the partnership in NAMEL, for some of the expected beneficiaries of the intervention, please feel free to discuss with the bank and NAMEL, and then we'll see. I'm not guaranteeing you that 100% of the people who apply will get the facility. But working together, we will see how many of us will get it. And the rest will continue to make appeals to management on how to move forward. So for this kind of strategic investments, the central banks of any country that knows their onions will step in and give loans long-term, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and make sure agriculture in that country becomes profitable and functional. The last question was Is it only cassava that you have in the 6 years now? I think Dr. Adekunle had answered that very well. I want to thank you very much for this.
Put your hands together for Mr. Oyetunde Solaja, the MD Press Agro, to lead us in this presentation.
There's something Dr. said just now. CBN is ready to support you for like 10 to 15 years. What it means is that there is some strategic planning that's coming into place into land clearing and cultivation. It should go beyond just land clearing and cultivation. It should go all the way to the market. How do I mean? Before now, I'm sure many of us that cultivate cassava, allow me to use cassava as an example. There are years like 2020 that is a good year, where we're able to sell cassava for 40, 45, 50,000, depending on the area. I am, however, aware that in 2019, some of us sold cassava for 10,000. Huh? When you have this kind of a system, you can't sustain the business. You make profit one year, you make a massive loss the other year. In fact, I can tell you, I witnessed a farmer that invested 4 trailer load of cassava, got to a factory entrance, and he could not offload because they have excess of cassava already in the factory. And there's nothing they can do with it. You can't convert 4 trailers of cassava to gari. How many factory does gari of 4 trailers? They ended up throwing this cassava by the roadside and allowing it to rot. Now, when you run your business without a proper strategic plan, we're likely going to run into problems. So what we encourage is this. If I am cultivating cassava, I know I'm expecting so number of tonnage at the end of the year. I will look for a processor that has the capacity to obtain those cassava, and I will go into a contract with them. There will be a proper alignment to say, look, I'm going to harvest my cassava between May and December. Each month I will be harvesting 2 trailers, 3 trailers, and you have a proper agreement and alignment. Some of us, because we felt the price market is highly unpredictable, we don't want to agree price. Sometimes we shoot ourselves in the leg when we do that. It's good to have a well-structured, organized contract. The terms are clearly defined, and each person sticks to part of the deal. You can do that for the next 10, 20 years, as long as the organization exists, and such a contract you can actually take it to your banks. Banks like to see this well structured because it is predictable. The level of unpredictability is very low. The same thing we do as manufacturers of the product. We have, look, I'll keep talking about cassava. I have a lot of passion about cassava. Cassava is one thing that if we get right in Nigeria, it can change the fortune of the country. There are so many things we can do with cassava that we are not even starting yet. There is a lot of campaign in the world about nylon being not biodegradable. Today there are bags, poly bags made from cassava. Gradually trying to replace the normal nylon bags that we are used to. I mean, the opportunity is so enormous. So why do we destroy cassava every year? 2019, a lot of cassava got destroyed. Many people vowed never to plant cassava again in 2019 because they went into huge losses. If we don't learn to strategize the way we do our business, we will keep running into this 1 year high, 1 year loss. All the profits you made in 2020, you throw it away another year. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's about how well did you plan this. When, as I sit as a processor, I don't like to go to the street and say, who has cassava, who has cassava? Can you give me cassava? No, because I cannot plan my production run. But if I have a farmer that says, look, Tunde, I have 200 hectares of cassava with that. I'm ready to do a contract with the person. We agree you're going to bring in 2 trucks on Monday, 3 trucks on Tuesday, 4 trucks on Wednesday. I can make my plans. Like I say, okay, I'm going to run on Monday, I'm going to run on Wednesday, I'm going to run. It helps me organize myself. I would rather do that than going from village to village. In the last 1 week, I've been to more than 14 villages in Nigeria looking for cassava. I can't sustain a business like that. The time I'm using to look for cassava everywhere is the time I should be used for something better. Because I'm not adding value by looking around for cassava. To be serious, I mean, I'm not adding value. But there should be big farmers that can do 300. I mean, CBN is giving this opportunity to cooperatives, and they're doing 1,000 hectares in an area. There is a factory close by to you. Go to them and have a proper contract. Sign an MOU, have an agreement. We're going to supply you, this is the time from our experience. We'll be investing between so time and so time. They will come around to monitor the progress of your farm for sure. Because I'm not going to sign the contract with you and go and sleep. Because I don't want you to disappoint me. Because I'm locking my production based on you. Once you give me a contract, I don't want to have a contract with another person. So I want to be sure that, so I will be coming like every 2 months to see the progress of your cropping, to see your growth rate. Are we going to get the 100 tons that you promised me? Or is it going to be 80 tons? But there's a need for us to have a proper, well-structured, organized offtake arrangement.
Very important for us. Because see, even the CBN, the National Microfinance, GGB, and the Standing IBTC, and the other banks that are there, the most important aspect of this we're talking about is the market. The money coming back, guaranteed return on investment. And that is what the MD of Cresa will discuss about. There is a paragraph in our agreement that we sign off, with the process. And that particular section says that we are going to be meeting once in a month, do you understand, for strategic meetings. Do you understand, with them? And it's there that we're going to sit down to see how we can develop, do you understand, very strategic marketing, and a framework. This is very, very important. CBN, look at this, CBN put the money for lifetime, put the money for cultivation, and there we have to be quickly, we are bringing mechanization. We should use it like India said, do you understand, to now form a small group where we can discuss with the processor, discuss with the bank, you understand, to bring in logistic equipment, you understand, to help you over this one. But we have to do it together. So that paragraph in that agreement is saying that we have to meet every month. It's a must that we meet. As long as you're an applicant, you're the beneficiary of this law, we meet. And I want us to be discussing this matter. Thank you very much, sir.
When you determine that this risk, there's nothing you can do about it, that you live with it, you begin to think how to handle it. So for a typical business, from the risks that have to do with the market, legal risk, operational risk, financial risk, and the likes. Just to break it down so that we don't sound too academic. It is this risk that we have identified that we try to use some policy to address. There was something Tunde said now about the market. If we do everything we're doing and there's no market for it, we would have wasted our time. Please let me just emphasize, every association we have funded in CBN, the first thing we asked them was to give us the offtake agreement they signed with processors. If it is rice people, have you spoken to Ripan? If it is cassava people, have you spoken to the large-scale processors? So in doing that, you're handling the market risk. And the rest of the risks are not something we want to talk about. As farmer associations, whether each farmer that are under different cooperatives, what if he gets the loan and runs away? That's why we do cross guarantees. We put 15 to 20 people together in one group, and they are under the association. Inside the association, we have the state chapter, we have the national body. We get your executive to sign personal guarantees and other documents for so that when a farmer in Abuja, Cross River, absconds with the products he harvested, there will be somebody in the cooperative that is the cooperative head, and there will be somebody at the state government level that is the state chapter, and of course the SQ. So we want to sign documents to ensure that people understand that these are loans they will pay back. So that's a summary on this. Next one. Same thing happens for P-AADS. So when I speak, because I'm in the Anchor Growers team and the P-AADS, I'll be speaking about those two interventions. Specifically for the P-AADS, if you look at it and zero into the production risk, the marketing risk, I'll just go straight to production risk. You have found the land. What if the person that has the land doesn't use the proper equipment to open the land, doesn't do what he's told in terms of agronomical practices? Because it's one thing to farm. Look at what is happening in cassava. Don't get feel somehow if you're not a cassava farmer. I am the cassava champion in CBN, so most of my examples would be cassava or sugar.
I started farming. I started with cassava in 1989. I opened up a virgin forest. That was during the cassava mosaic. And I planted 80 hectares. I took a lot of trouble to travel from Calabar to Port Harcourt to get 3572 that was in proper writing because of the mosaic. I had 35 to 50 metric ton per hectare. When we started, Cross River State government felt that even the stems I would want to sell outside because I didn't get it from the state. When State sent a quality control officer, he came, he surveyed, and segregated the farm. But I want to tell you that it was only 1,000 bundles of cassava stems that I sold. I did not sell even one tuber of cassava. The whole effort and investment lost. Since then, I said I'm not planting cassava again. So in 2018, 19, I said, okay, let me try again. I put in 4 million naira to grow cassava. The forest grow cassava on 10 hectares. Did I tell you, I only sold 63,000 naira. So I asked CBN, you are calling us to get loan. If you were the one who gave this 4 million naira, would you have been on my back demanding that I pay this money as long as I have done what I needed to do as a farmer? But it happened that there was no market. We all know the glut, 1919 to 20. It was terrible. It was terrible. So I want to ask from CBN, because I must confess, this is the first time in this country, and CBN have taken this kind of stride. Develop the land, stay with the farmer, mechanize it for him. I've not seen it before for the last 30 years of being in farming. But my answer, why do you absorb yourself off from the marketing point? Because that is where the risk lies, cassava farming. We don't have a post-harvest way of handling cassava tubers. Why do you allow that responsibility to the farmer to handle it? We are talking of the peasant farmers, most of them are illiterate. So, I would rather have thought that CBN will equally have aggregated producers. If I am growing 500 hectares of cassava in Cross River, in Akampa local government, processor A and B, that I'm funding you. This is Avanco Limited is the one growing cassava that we will use. Buying the two of them together. Don't just ask me, go and negotiate. If I go and negotiate and he does not live up to that negotiation, or it declines, what happens to that investment, you and me? The farmers go in there because you are coming in to improve the economic condition. And if it does not make profit, if it cannot sell the product he produces, you are not enhancing positively. And what happened that made cassava to hike was because farmers ran away because they could not make profit. So I would want CBN to come into this. We are growing 500 hectares. We are developing the land. We know how much is going to be involved. It's your money. But for me to be a successful businessman, I should be able to pay back that money. To encourage you, because I am going to develop another 1,000 hectares. If I don't succeed here and pay back the money, you will not come back to me. So I want CBN to be involved in this matter of marketing positively. Don't allow it just into the hands of the farmers, because you have started. Add it up very well, and that will help the farmers to grow. Thank you.
I'm a bit encouraged by what I heard from CBN this afternoon. Specifically, I'm the ID person for ABP, Central Bank of Nigeria, for fish, like I said earlier. Let me give that as an example. So we are here to find solution to a number of issues. If one works, it could be replicated to the other. We uploaded our farmers up to 2,000 plus for anchor borrowers. And we've been going back and forth to get the type of assistance we should have from PFI. We had a PFI that couldn't pull the arrangement. We were ready to go to NISA, we were ready to go to other places. Each place we went, they will be demanding collateral for association and co. And now you have explained here that there wouldn't be need for such to happen for association and co. So which we are talking about cross guarantee. So now CBN, how can you clearly state the way to handle cross guarantee for association and co loans without demanding collateral from Metama and Asoko? It is an issue because our farmers list is hanging up till now. We are migrated from dry season to wet season. I'm talking about fish. It's not working. Please, how can we assess this very thing that is spending now to give other people the impression that CBN has come to rescue? Thank you.
Market. The market end of the value chain. Answer is yes, we are doing that. For all the commodities, what we do is we tie you to processors to sign offtake agreements. Some of the time, the processors will only produce input for a larger offtaker who is maybe a multinational. We see it through to that end, so that we are sure that the processor will sell to an ultimate big brother, get cash, and be able to pay the farmer. So what we need to do right away for Cross River, Akwa Ibom, wherever it is, after this meeting, let's know the hectareage, so that this meeting will not just be one of those talk show. You just finish talking. Yes. Give NAMEL the hectareage and expected yield. We will link you to the off-taker, and new people will sign off-take agreement. And part of off-take agreement is guaranteed minimum price.
Yes.
We will ensure that you are not cheated. So that's part of it. He alluded to it at that initial stage. Please take note that we're already doing that. Collateral for association. When I was talking about cross guarantee, I was referring to bringing it down to the lowest level, because the ESCOs of association sign personal guarantee and all that. And I'll be honest to you, associations have also not done well. When we look at our repayment dynamics, the rate of recovery, most of the good recoveries we have gotten were from private anchors. The private anchors borrow money, they pay back better than when we just release money to farmers under the association model. Let me tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, if banks today stop to collect collateral for loans they give, we'll have a financial system crisis. Take it from me as a regulator. So when banks ask you for collateral, it's in the greater good of the financial system. You may be feeling bad because you know that when they give you this loan, you will pay. My brother, my sister, the next person to you will not pay. Most times when they hear central bank loans, they think it is national cake, and they say, this is my own piece of the cake. That is the truth. And if we continue like that, we won't make progress. Ask the bankers on this table. There is headache perfecting collateral. There is headache. When they lend to Mobile, Chevron, Nigerian breweries, PZ, they just sign a piece of paper and book the loan. You might go to the bank and borrow at 20%. They lend to them 9%. They lend to them so small, no collateral. Why? They will pay. They will pay. So please, don't go from this meeting and say that banks, CBN is encouraging banks not to collect collateral. We are encouraging banks to be innovative with collateral arrangement. Ask farmers for the kind of collateral that appear in their balance sheet. Ask farmers for the kind of collateral that they can bring. That's what we are advocating for. By all means, where the bank feels that this customer, for me to lend you money and be able to recover it, we need you to put collateral in place. There's nothing central bank can do about it. The policies are clear. Banks, you have your internal credit policy, you have your internal credit process. Please make sure you recover your loan. If we come to your bank and the loan has passed the number of days that you're supposed to recover, we'll debit you. Thank you very much. Banks. Yesterday at about 6 p.m., we sent email to all the banks in Nigeria. And we asked the agri-desk officers of those banks to send in their recommendation. And in fact, the 3 banks that are highest under P-AADS and Anchor Borrowers Program, in addition to asking them for their recommendation, we asked them to send staff to join us in the retreat. So this is serious business. Will all the banks reply us? I believe so. Will all their inputs be accepted? No. But at least we've given them opportunity to make their inputs because they are critical stakeholders in the implementation of the interventions. So for those of you who are here, when you get back, please put down your recommendations. If you can, email them to me. Send me an email, and I will assure you those recommendations will receive attention. I hope I have answered your questions. The ones you still want me to address, please send me an email. I'll do my best to respond. I want to thank you very much. I'm rushing back to the office. Dr. Zarunuruddin is in the Development Finance Department. He's also a Cassava Champion team member. I hope whatever I can't answer, he will do justice to it. Thank you very much, and have a very fruitful day.
All protocols to be observed again. I bring warm greetings from the executive management and staff of Lysa Microfinance Bank, from my ED banking especially. He wanted to be here because of an extraordinary meeting that came up. So he sends his apologies as well. Now, before I start, I want to say something. I think it's very important that I mentioned here, somebody referred to Lysa Microfinance Bank as an agent of CBN. We are not an agent of CBN. The commercial banks you see here own us 75%. So we are the agent of the Bankers Committee. We're a private organization. The Bankers Committee owns us 75%. NICEL PLC owns us 15%. Then NIPOST 10%. So we're a private organization. But CBN has an interest we, through NISA PLC, and they own 100%. So if we say CBN interest in NISA Microfinance Bank, it is 15% by proxy. Okay. So now, thank you, Dr. Adekunle, for this opportunity again to work, to meet with all of you. And if I think I should say, thank God for joining mercies for all of you that are here, and we pray that God will take you back safely when you're going home. Now, NISA Microfinance Bank was set up for this kind of business. You know, the commercial banks funded us. It's part of their responsibility that government has foisted on them. And because of their kind of business, it's proven a bit difficult for them to do justice to that. So they came out, the commercial banks are very smart. So what they now did was to come together, pool funds together, and form NISA Microfinance Bank in conjunction with the CBN. So we are doing the bidding of the commercial banks based on what they should do for the people, for Nigeria. So now the P-AADS has come up. We've been doing ABP, we've been doing the Aurora program, we've been doing the SME one, the ASMES, and also the TCF for the COVID palliative. I'm sure that's the one that most of us really know, the TCF that has really touched people's lives. So this P-AADS has come up, and we're really excited, really, really excited about it. And what Oga said, government coming up now and saying, let us clear the land, let us help the farmers cultivate. Then we now added what of the marketplace. And CBN has spoken, but I want to assure you, sir, that they have actually done a lot with the market. Dr. Zef mentioned the off-taker agreement and all that. They follow up to make sure that these people actually off-take and they pay. We have someone that did rice wet season, and we have a number of people that did rice wet season. When it came to time for harvest, they brought their own off-taker agreements, but they called a meeting of all wet season anchors. And CBN told them, you know what? You know you have your off-takers. But see these people, they are going to off-take from you. We are sure that these people will off-take and pay you their money. And they actually did. They go to the farms, the farmers will, the anchor, because he has a responsibility. The CBN, the PFI will not do everything for you. It's just to make things easy. But you have to do your own bit and show the level of seriousness. And then, excuse me. And then CBN will now come in. The banks will have more confidence in your business and then partner with you. And that is what CBN did. And these people came, took from the anchors, gave them way bills. These way bills were submitted to CBN and to us as evidence. And they are crediting these people's accounts. So CBN has made sure that for the wet season, this happened. It wasn't happening before. And it was a last minute thing because it came just when they had started harvesting. And they agreed at the price. The processors were there, the anchors representing the farmers were there, and they haggled it over with the CBN governor chair. So that made everybody put on their best behavior and make sure that at the end of the day, you know that you're being held responsible. And if you renege on a contract by the CBN, I don't know where you want to go and get another contract from. So everybody will just behave and pay, and they're behaving. And Dr. Zef said something about repeat business. None of them has submitted all his produce, made over 95% recovery. And we are funding him now for dry season. We have given him the same amount for dry season. So, and we didn't have to go through anything. He just wrote us. And we went to our management and said, you know what? This person has paid back. And that's all my management wants to hear. That's all any bank's management wants to hear. This person has paid back. And without sweat. Man was sitting in his house sending letters. He would just call. How far? And we told him, so we have requested for the funds. You know, that is what credit history is all about. The next time he comes now, he's just doing 1,000 something hectares. The next time he comes and says he wants to do 5,000 hectares, we will not bat an eyelid because he has proven his integrity. And we know that there are a lot of checks that have been put in place by the CBN and us as well. Then somebody said again, talked about the 6-year tenure for the P-AADS for the annual crops and keeping money in farmers' hands for a long time. I know the man has said it again, but I want to, has talked about it, and I want to say again that the repayment is supposed to be on a seasonal basis. If you're doing cereals, grains, and you're from clearing to selling is 6 months, you're paying back something 6 months, every 6 months. We're not keeping the money. And when you pay back, the idea of the P-AADS is you're giving the money once to clear. Your repayment is based on your ABP business, which is your cultivation business. Perfect. So the ABP business feeds your repayment for parts and also repays itself. You know? So every 6 months, 3 months, or 4 months, depending on your speed, and everything has been put in place, really. No off-taker is, what's the word for it now? No off-taker is the lord over your business now. No, CBN has taken away that cap from them. So it's a market thing now. And the idea of Mr. Crestagro, you said something about market stability, you know, for profitability to farmers. That is what CBN is driving at. And for the ABP, we are not asking, CBN is not asking you to pay cash. You know what I said? Somebody will come out of take. They are looking for produce. And why are they doing that? They want to regulate the market. They want to make the market stable. They will inform, they will guide the off-taking, they will guide the processing, they will guide the retailing. They are doing all that. You know. So we started all this time when I was growing up, the government to come and say a lot of things and all that policies up and down. But this is the first time, like you said, sir, that government is putting money where its mouth is. Now they have finally done this, and I want to plead with all of us that let us do what we can to make sure that this works. Government can only do so much. The bulk of the work actually lies with us.
Okay, monitoring of 6 months, right? You know, the monitoring issue, of course, it depends on the commodity you're handling, isn't it? And then again, remember, at the let's assume you're doing cassava, which normally average of 1 year, isn't it, for the stock to ripe. So that moratorium of 6 months given to you would be enough for the P-AADS activity to take place. That is land clearing and whatever. If you do it within that period and you're not suffering for any interest charge within that period, then thereafter, the issue of interest and what have you now activate before the before the cultivation, before the harvest of the cassava. Do you understand? I think it's normal. If it is 1 year, then after 6 months, then the issue of interest activities now set in. By end of the year, you only suffer 6 months interest rate on you. I don't know if I'm making any point here, sir. So at the end of 1 year, so you have already been given a grace period of 1 year. Of 6 months. Then it's only to cover 6 months. While if you talk about other commodities, because in this case we're not only talking about cassava, we're talking about different commodities. Some of them are even less than 6 months that they can also listen. So a decision is actually yours as a farmer to decide which commodity that has the lower gestation period or the longer gestation period, depending on what you want to use the commodity for. You understand? But actually that's what we said, but it's also open for further engagement to see how we can make it better. What do you mean, sir?
I believe that's one of the things I thank Almighty God that make us successful in what we do. We didn't pick what we're doing, on the internet or on the road. we've been in this business for almost 28 years, right from selling, fairly used tires, rims, and things like that. I just want to say to you that it should be included in the community that this 6 months moratorium, should be looked into concerning regarding the cassava production. This is very important. And also, before I join in the P-AADS and the P-AADS alongside the production, we need to sit down and review it and go back to the drawing board. It may be very difficult, practically, for them to meet up with this. So I want to suggest that please we take a look at it and see that it does not become a problem in the future. Technically, honestly, it's going to be very, very difficult. We are talking about an average of the applicants right now that have qualified and who have sent, if you look at an average of 1,500 hectares. And then if we put our machines in the field with the best, with the modern things, modern land clearing we're talking about, give us an average of probably 3 to 4 months to do that. It's already done. Even if we start production, from the back end, do you understand? We do 100, we start using the deep road plowing and everything like that. It still takes us over 6 months. We need another 6 months. So we really need to sit down on the table and take a look at it. 6 months is not, may not be applicable. It will trigger the default factor, this thing. Please, let's take a look at it. So you have almost touched everywhere. Now, let me talk about, there's an area that someone talked about here, you understand, NAMEL should be the anchor, anchor on this thing, prime anchor. Yes, we are. All the producers here, if you go to CBN, they are going to ask for 100% collateral. Do you understand? And if you were at the other program, you will hear what the opportunity is. That's why we are the one representing you right now, and we are working on that. So we work together. But nevertheless, does not mean that we will not request for that protection. Do you understand what I'm saying? But we will be doing the whole entire work for you. So we are the prime anchor, we are the service provider. In this case, we'll be interfacing with us. Do you understand? We will have your list of farmers. We will be with you for the next 6 years. We'll clear the land. We will be with you for the production. We will work along with you for the market and putting your expert advice together to see how this thing will succeed. That's the only way it will succeed. I hope that every month for the next 6 years we're able to sit down like this, even if you don't have to sit down in Sheraton, you understand? We may meet in one of the states, town halls, and then we hold our meeting like this. So we're going to be there for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's look at those who are online. And somebody was raising his hand. Please, can you speak? Is it Iki, if I'm correct? Ike. You are raising your hand. Yes, how are you, sir? Thank you for holding on there. Let's hear you. Yes, we can hear you now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Comrade General Secretary of Grassroots Agri Human Rights Farmers Foundation and the State Coordinator for your state. I just want to say a very big thank you. I've been following this thing from the morning up to this present moment. I am very, very happy with what I'm witnessing today. I want to say a very, very big thank you to NAMEL, particularly on behalf of GAP. NAMEL has really, we are majorly tomato farmers. We deal with tomato. Unfortunately, all the examples that have been said today is based on cassava. There is no problem with that.
I'll meet the engineer.
We are okay. So NAMEL, thank you very, very much. God bless all the team under NAMEL. A very big thank you also. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, a very big thank you to CBN for bringing up this initiative. it will go a long way to secure food security for the country. But I want to appeal to you, the interest. You talk about single digit of 5%, 5%, single digit. And this loan has a tenure of 6 years. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, just hold on. Let's try not to say anything. My office right now will send you Dr. Zaro's email from CBN and Dr. Chinedu's email and NAMEL's email. Please send us your questions and we will get back to you even if it means over the weekend. Is that okay?
It's okay. Don't worry.
On his list, tell him to look at it. But meanwhile, if you hear me very well, we cannot leave this meeting without also thanking the cassava champions. Because the cassava champions are the ones who activated the whole thing. We worked for them, we provided them with data from the field, and from there they started working. From 5-star, do you understand, to land clearing, to P-AADS, you understand? But the approval for P-AADS is not only on cassava, it's rice, maize, and tomatoes and other things. If you look at the earlier presentation made by Adeleke, you can see we mentioned almost all the must-win crops that CBN is funding under the ADB. So please, and someone also mentioned here, my brother here, one of them mentioned that we should try and see if we can hold another stakeholders. I want to plead with the CBN that here, NAMEL has tried, we have held twice 2 of this program. So if we have to hold another program for rice, then please, maybe they should make another 1 billion available for us. So we will do that and we will carry you along. Please check your screen now. Check your screen. You will see Dr. Zaro's email and my email. Send your question. We will jointly reply you. Thank you very much.
Applicant for this very noble project in this hall, thank the NAMEL Chief Executive and the team for this great job. For the presentation we have seen the financial engineering and the dream you have for every single applicant. Most for businessmen, they will prefer to keep providing mechanization services to us instead of doing the financial engineering to give us tractors. We appreciate you. And to CBN, we also want to thank CBN for all the laudable intervention in the agricultural sector today. To most of us, it seems as if CBN is actually the government agency that have the responsibility for agricultural development. Because we have never had it so good from a financial institution compared to what the agency or NPAs of the government that actually have that particular responsibility. We are very grateful. For all of us that are here, we know that land development has been a major concern for most primary producers. Those who are in tractor service provision, you discover that your tractor breaks down very quickly because by the time you move in tractor, you have a lot of stones that prevent you from working. And even some smallholder farmers who have funds or resources to acquire mechanization services, sometimes they are denied access to tractors because the service provider cannot take their tractors to where they cannot work. So this P-AADS is very, very big step to every single one of us that is seated in this hall. And we believe that every single resolution that we are taking here will be fast-tracked in view of the timeline that one of us earlier talked about. For all the farmers that we represented here, they are eager. They are waiting to see this be start as soon as possible. We appreciate you, we thank you very much, and wish you all the best in the future activities that we'll be doing for the implementation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We ask Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this project a success.
And we ask Almighty Allah to give us divine protection even as we progress to our various destinations. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali Sayyidina Ibrahim. Wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali Sayyidina Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Sallu ala nabiyil karim.